Good morning, students. Welcome to video lecturing class on control engineering. So we'll continue with the fifth module. Sorry. The next bit is the state variable characteristic of linear systems. So the main thing is, for the linear systems, the conventional approach used to study the behavior of linear time invariant control systems uses the time domain of the time domain or frequency domain methods. So in all these methods, the systems are modeled using transfer function approach, which is the ratio of Laplace transform of output to input, neglecting all the initial conditions. Thus, this conventional analysis faces all the limitations associated with the transfer function approach. So some of its limitations can be stated as naturally the significant initial conditions in obtaining the precise solution of any system lose their importance in conventional approach. So the method is insufficient and the troublesome to give complete time domain solution of higher order system, and it is not very much convenient for the analysis of multiple input and multiple output systems, and it gives analysis of system for some specific types of input like step or ramp input. And the another limitation is like it is only applicable for the linear time invariant systems. Hence, it is absolutely necessary to use the method of analyzing systems which overcomes most of the above said difficulties. So the modern method discussed in this module uses the concept of total internal state of the system considering all the initial conditions. Therefore, this technique, which uses the concept of state, is called state variable analysis or the state space analysis. So it is essentially a time domain approach, but it has a number of advantages compared to the conventional methods of the analysis. Okay, so for to understand what exactly this state variable characteristic of linear variable systems, or what exactly this state space condition, we'll try to understand by taking one mechanical example. So let us consider an example of simple mechanical system which is shown in the figure. So according to the Newton's second law of motion, the force F is given by m into a, that is mass into acceleration, or we can rewrite it as F equal to m into d by dt of v of t, that is the derivative of velocity. And if you simplify this equation for the velocity, v of t equal to 1 divided by m integral of f of t into dt. So now the velocity at any time t is the result of the force F applied to the particle in the entire past. So v of t equal to 1 by m integral of minus infinity to t f of t into dt, which is equal to 1 by m my integral of minus infinity to t naught f of t into dt plus 1 by m integral of t naught to t f of t into dt, where this t naught is initial time. So now you can rewrite this one as 1 divided by m integral of minus infinity to t naught f of t into dt equal to v of t. So we can rewrite the equation as v of t equal to v of t naught, that is with the initial time, plus 1 by m integral of t naught to t f of t into dt. So if v into t naught is known and input vector from t naught to t is known, then we can obtain a unique value of the output v of t at any time where t is greater than t naught. Okay, so the next one is the state model of single input and single output system. So let us consider a single input and single output system, that is m is 1, p is 1, but its order is n. So hence this n is the state variables are required to define a state of the system. Therefore, the state model is given by x dot of t equal to a into x of t plus b into u of t, and y of t equal to c into x of t plus d into u of t, where this a is n into n matrix, B is n into 1 matrix, C is 1 into n matrix, and D is a constant, and U of t is single scalar input variable. Now the state model of an electrical system. So first one, the first problem is obtain the state model of the given electrical system. So this is the given electrical network. So there are two energy storing elements in this network, that is L and C, that is capacitor and inductor. So two state variables are the current through inductor, that is I of t, and voltage across the capacitor, which is V naught of t. So therefore we can write this state equation as x1 of t equal to I of t, x2 of t equal to V naught of t. So first you need to define those initial state variables. So here there are two, that is one is current and one another one is voltage. So we have defined them as x1 of t and x2 of t respectively. And U of t is Vi of t, that is input variable. So now applying the Kirchhoff's voltage law to the loop, so we can write the equation for the voltage Vi of t equal to I of t into R plus L into di of t divided by dt plus V naught of t. So arranging this equation for di of t by dt. Okay, so di of t by dt equal to 1 divided by L into Vi of t minus R by L I of t minus 1 by L into V naught of t. But di of t divided by dt, we have defined it as x1 dot of t. Therefore x1 dot of t equal to, because x1 of t is I, so di of dt will be x1 dot of t. So substituting that one into this equation, so we will get x1 dot of t as minus R by L into x1 of t minus 1 by L x2 of t plus 1 by L U of t. That is the equation number 1. While V naught of t is equal to voltage across the capacitor. So V naught of t equal to 1 by C integral of I of t into dt. So dV naught of t divided by dt equal to 1 by C into I of t. But dV naught of t divided by dt equal to x2 dot of t, which we have defined in the first step only. Therefore x2 dot of t equal to 1 by C into x1 of t. So from equation number 1 and 2, we can write the matrix for x1 dot and x2 dot. So we can write it as x1 dot of t and x2 dot of t equal to, write the respective coefficients from equation number 1 and equation number 2. So in equation number 1, the x1 coefficient is minus R by L and x2 coefficient is minus 1 by L. So and that U of t coefficient is 1 by L. So you can rewrite, and in the second row you have to write the coefficient of the x2 from the second equation. So here we have only coefficient for x1, so it is 1 by C and 0 as the second row, minus 1 by L 0 into U of t, that is from the third equation. So now we can write x1 dot of t as a into x of t plus b into u of t, while output variable y of t, that is v naught of t, equal to x2 of t. Therefore we have to write the matrix equation for y of t also. It will be 0 1 into x1 x2 plus 0 into u, where that is y of t equal to c into x of t, and d is 0. So this is the required state model, as n is 2 here, that is order of matrix is 2 here, that is it is a second order system. Now for the second problem, find the state model for the given network. So first let us apply the KVL to the first loop and second loop, write the equations. So when you apply the KVL to the first loop, it is minus L1 into di1 divided by dt, because of that direction we are taking negative sign here, minus I1 into R1 minus ET plus VC equal to 0, that is from the first loop. And from the second loop it is minus L2 into di2 divided by dt minus I2 into R2 plus VC equal to 0. So rearranging this equation for these two equations for di1 and di2 by dt, so you will get this equation number 1 and equation number 2, and I1 plus I2 is given by minus C into dVC by d divided by dt, where this dVC divided by dt equal to minus 1 by c into I1 minus 1 by c into I2. That is the equation number 3. Now you have to select the state variables. So we have to select the state variables as x1 as I1, x2 as I2, x3 as Vc, and u as E of t. So substituting these variables in equation number 1, 2, 3, you will get x1 dot equal to minus r1 to l1, r1 by l1 into x1 plus 1 by l1 into x3 minus 1 by l1 into u, and second equation will become x2 dot equal to minus r2 divided by l2 into x2 plus 1 divided by l2 into x3, and the third equation will be x3 dot equal to minus 1 by c x1 minus 1 by c x2. So when you write the matrix that is of the form that is state model as x dot equal to a into x plus b into u, you will get this matrix system. Okay, that is the state model. Now the second bit is the state model of mechanical system. So obtain the state model for the given mechanical system. So first you need to draw the free body diagrams. Already you are familiar with how to draw the free body diagram and how to take the direction of the forces. We have already studied in the second module. So first write the governing equations for the given system. So that is mx double dot equal to f of t minus kx minus bx dot. So x double dot means it is d square x of t divided by dt square. That is going to be your equation number 1. Now select the state variables as x1 as x of t, x2 as dx of t divided by dt, that is x1 dot. Okay, and d square x of t divided by dt square will be x2 dot of t, and f of t will be u. So using equation number 1, you can write it as m into x2 dot plus b into x2 plus k into x1 equal to u. So you have to substitute these variables in equation number 1. Now the state model you can write directly, you can write as, before that you have to simplify this equation for the x2 dot, and x1 dot will be x2. So write the matrix, that is state model equation for x1 and x1 dot and x2 dot. So we will get this matrix system, that is x dot equal to ax plus bu, where a is 0 1 minus k by m minus b by m, and b is 0 and 1 by m. Now for the second problem, obtain the state model assuming x1 of t as the output. So for this again you need to draw the free body diagram, and you have to consider the correct directions for the forces. Then write the governing equations. Okay, for the first pass it will be m1 x1 double dot equal to f of t minus k1 into x2 minus x1 minus d2 into x2 dot minus x1 dot minus d1 into x1 dot. And for the second mass it will be m2 into x2 double dot equal to k1 into x2 minus x1 plus d2 into x2 dot minus x1 dot minus d3 into x2 dot minus k2 into x2. Rearranging these equations for f of t and this one for 0 on left side. So you will get this equation number 1 and 2. After that you need to define the state variables. So here the state variables are x1 equal to x1 of t, x2 equal to x2 of t, x3 will be x1 dot, that is dx1 by dt, x4 will be dx2 divided by dt, that is x2 dot, and x3 dot will be d square x1 of t divided by dt, and x4 as d square x2 of t divided by dt, y as x1, u as f of t. So now using equation number 1 and 2, substituting these state variables in those equations, you will get u equal to m1 into x3 dot plus d1 into x3 plus d2 into x3 minus d2 into x4 plus k1 into x1 minus k1 into x2. So now, and the second equation will be x3 dot equal to minus k1 by m1 x1 plus k1 by m1 into x2 minus d1 plus d2 divided by m1 into x3 plus d2 divided by m1 into x4 plus 1 by m1 into u. Similarly, the second equation will become x4 of x dot of 4 equal to k1 divided by m2 into x1 minus k1 plus k2 divided by m2 into x2 minus d2 divided by m2 into x3 minus d2 plus d3 divided by m2 into x4. So now write the state model equation, that is x dot equal to ax plus bu. So if you write in that form, you will get the matrix. This is the state model. Similarly, y equal to cx, you write that equation and you write the corresponding matrix, you will get this equation. Now the next bit is controllability and observability. So if a system is said to be completely state controllable, if it is possible to transfer the system state from any initial state, that is x of t naught, to any other desired state, that is x of tf, in a specified finite time interval, that is tf, by a control vector u of t. So there are two methods to check this controllability and observability. One is Kalman's test and another is Gilbert's test. So first we'll look into the Kalman's test for controllability. Let us consider nth order multiple input linear time invariant system represented by x dot equal to a into x of t plus b into u of t, where this a is n into n matrix, u of t is m into 1 matrix, and x of t is n into 1 matrix. So the necessary and sufficient condition for the system to be completely state controllable is that the rank of the composite matrix, that is QC, is n. That is QC equal to b is to ab is to a square b, so on, is to a raised to n minus 1 into b. Okay, so if it satisfies this condition, then only we can say that the system is completely state controllable. So let us look into a simple example. So find the controllability of a system which is given by x dot equal to -1 2 -1 into x1 x2 plus 0 1 into u of t. So we have, from the given model, you just compare this one with the standard state model equation, that is x dot equal to ax plus bu. So from that we'll get the a as -1 -1 2 -1, b as 0 and 1. So the QC for this one will be b is to ab. So first we'll try to get ab. So let us multiply this a and b so that you will get the equation as, you will get the matrix as -1 -1. So it is 2 into 1 matrix. So substituting in the QC equation, so we will get QC as 0 -1 1 -1 and 0 -1 1 -1, which is equal to 1, which is not equal to 0. So hence the rank of the QC, that is order of the matrix, is 2. So hence the system is completely controllable. Then the next one is Gilbert's test for controllability. So for this test, it is necessary that the matrix A must be a canonical form. Hence the given state model is required to be transferred to the canonical form first to apply the Gilbert's test. So let us consider a single input linear time invariant system represented by x dot of t equal to ax of t plus b u of t, where this a is not in canonical form. Therefore x of t equal to m into z of t, where m is model matrix. So by using this condition, first you need to convert the given matrix into a canonical form. So the transfer state model as derived earlier takes the form of z dot of t equal to delta into z of t plus b into u of t, where this delta is the diagonal matrix and b is m inverse into b. So it is assumed that all the eigenvalues of A are distinct. Therefore the necessary and sufficient condition for the complete state controllability is that the vector matrix B bar should not have any zero elements. So let us look into a simple example. Consider this system with a state equation as x dot equal to ax plus bu he has given. Okay. So estimate the state controllability by Kalman's test and Gilbert's test. So first we'll start with the Kalman's test. So for the Kalman's test, the QC is B is to AB is to A square into B, because here rank is 3, n equal to 3. Okay, so first get the A into B value. So A into B will be 0, 1, minus 6. A square, let us get the A square value. A square is 0, 0, 1, minus 6, minus 11, minus 6, 36, 60 and 25. Then get the product of A square into B. So that is 1 minus 6, 25. So when you substitute these matrix in the QC matrix, that is QC equal to B is to AB is to A square into B. So you will get QC as 0, 0, 1 as the first row, 0, 1, minus 6 second row, 1 minus 6, 25. So get the determinant of this QC, which is equal to 1. So therefore, when the determinant of QC is a non-singular, hence the rank of the QC is 3, which is n. So thus the system is completely controllable. So for the Kalman's test, you should remember this QC, how to write this QC, when to take these 3 terms or when to take 2 terms. It depends upon the order of the given matrix. Let us try to get those product or AB or A square B or AQB. If it is 4, then you have to take it as AQB. Try to substitute that matrix in QC. Okay, then take the determinant of that QC. If it is a non-singular, then we can say that it is completely state controllable. Then the second test is Gilbert's test. So for this, first it is necessary to express A in a canonical form. Therefore, we have to find out the eigenvalue of A. Okay, so to find out that one, determinant of lambda into I minus A equal to lambda minus 1, 0, 0, lambda minus 1, 6, 11, lambda plus 1, which is equal to 0. Okay, determinant of that one you have to equal to 0. So take the determinant of that matrix. So you will get the lambda values as lambda 1 equal to minus 1, lambda 2 equal to minus 2, and lambda 3 equal to minus 3. As matrix A is in phase variable form, the model matrix M is a vendor mode matrix. So M equal to 1, first row will be 1, 1, 1, lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda 3, lambda 1 square, lambda 2 square and lambda 3 square. So you already know the values of lambdas. Okay, substitute those values in this matrix. Take the inverse of that matrix. So inverse of that matrix you can determine by adjacent of M divided by determinant of M. So adjacent of M will be transpose of M. Okay, that is rows will become columns and columns will become rows, and determinant of M is minus 2. After substituting, you will get M inverse as 3 minus 3, 1 as the first column, 2.5, 4 minus 4, 1.5 as the second column, 0.5 minus 1.5 as the third column. Now try to get the vector matrix, that is B bar equal to M inverse into B. Already you have calculated M inverse, multiply with B, you will get the vector as 0.5, minus 1 and 0.5. So as none of the elements in that vector matrix are 0, therefore the system is completely state stable. So for these two tests, you need to remember the condition. For Kalman's test, that order of QC, that is determinant of that QC, should be non-singular. Okay, then for the Gilbert's test, that vector matrix should not have any 0 element. Then only you can say that the system is completely state controllable. Okay, so we'll end the today's session here itself. So if you have any doubt, you can leave the comment in the comment box. Thank you.